Hey guys, how's it going today? So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you a question that I get asked a lot, both on my Udemy courses, on Procreate and digital painting, as well as on my YouTube channel. And the question is, how do I increase the layer limit for my canvas? Okay, so when you come to create a new canvas, you can do your own custom one, or you can pick one of the pre-selected ones. If you do create custom size down here at the bottom, you can set the dimensions of what you want your canvas to be. And if you look here above the keypad, it says maximum layers. So you have you have entitled right here, and then below that, below that you have maximum layers. Okay, so let's bring that back up. So right now my maximum layers are 128, and there's a lot of things that go into how many layers you can have. The main one is going to be the RAM that your device has on it. So if you have an older iPad, like an iPad Air or one of the older generations, they have a lot less RAM, and the max layer size you can have is going to be way lower. But if you're using an iPad Pro, specifically the newest models, the more RAM you have, you'll be able to have much more room to move around and have higher amount of layers. So there are some other things you can do to adjust it though, to give you a little bit more wiggle room. So your DPI stands for dots per inch, and that's how many points of color or pixels sort of are going to be in 1 inch worth of your drawing or painting, if it was printed in real life. So typically, if you're going to be printing whatever it is you're painting, it's going to be for print, like a pamphlet or a book cover or a trading card or anything like that, then you're going to want to have it at 300 DPI. That's standard for printing, and I always paint at that level just in case. Even if I'm not planning on printing it, if I think I might, I usually do 300 DPI anyways, just because it's better to be safe than sorry. But if you know for a fact that you're not going to be printing it and it's only going to be used for web use only, then you don't have to go that high, and you can go all the way down to 150 and still be pretty okay. All right. Another thing that you can change is the width and height of your canvas. So let's move this over to inches. If I put this at 50 inches by 20 inches at 150 DPI, you can see my maximum amount of layers are only 19. And if I change this to 300, it won't even let me go that high because this is too large. Let's see what it will. Let's do 200. So if I go up to 200, it only gives me 9 layers. And that might be enough for you. You might not use a lot of layers. That might be fine. But a lot of us like to use more. So what you can do is bring your canvas size down. Typically, I like to paint by 11 by 15 inches a lot of times. And at 150 DPI, that gives me still 128 layers. And at 300 DPI, it gives me 32. Now, that's a big jump down from 128, but I honestly don't ever really often find myself going over 32. So what we can do now, let's go ahead and create this canvas. So let's say that you're painting and you're drawing, painting something, and you make a new layer and you do something on top of that, and then you make a new layer and do something on top of that. Okay. This is probably common sense, but some of you, I know a lot of you are beginners, you might not know this. Merging down your layers into one layer when you feel like you have enough already there that you don't need to go back and work it anymore makes it so that those 3 layers are now 1 layer, which gives you more room to start creating more again. So that's one option. Sometimes though, that's still not enough. Sometimes you really don't feel comfortable merging those layers because you're worried that you might need to go back and change something. So what you can also do, that I like to do, so let's say we make another layer here, and on that new layer, I put this blue stuff down, right? And I'm like, okay, well, let's say I've run out of layers. I have all 32 layers out. What I typically will do is I'll go back to my gallery. I will duplicate the canvas, And then on the new one, on the duplicated one, I can merge those layers and feel okay with it, because if I really absolutely have to go back and, you know, redo whatever I did, I still have the original with all the layers separated, and it's kind of like a midway save point. So it's not ideal. It would be better to just use Photoshop if you're getting that many layers, but if you're really still using Procreate or you don't have access to Photoshop, then this would be the way to go. And those are the tips and tricks you can use to increase your layer limit size. So once again, main thing it's going to come down to, just to recap, is the amount of RAM you have on your iPad. So when you're looking into buying one, make sure you check that out. How much RAM does it have? Because the more RAM, the more layers you'll be able to have. Second thing is your DPI. The higher the DPI, the less layers you'll be able to have. And then the bigger the size of your canvas, the less layers you'll be able to have as well. So the reason they do this is because if they could ideally, they could add more layers if the program as a Procreate wanted to, but the problem is it starts to get really slow and glitchy, and you want to run smoothly and be quick and responsive. Otherwise, it won't. Your painting and drawing won't be as accurate because it's not as responsive to what you're doing. Alright, so that's it for today's video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to see more video tutorials on digital painting, Procreate, motivation for artists, things like that, then be sure to subscribe. Also, make sure you hit the bell notification. That will let you know when I put a new video out. And new thing I'm starting, live streams every Friday, 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Gonna be painting, answering questions, things like that. So be sure to check that out. So you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.